Hey, what's good, world? Thanks for pressing play on another Pay Me No Mind sports and entertainment video. Getting ready to get into some bite down boxing, a bite down boxing discussion. Was listening to this Regis Prograis interview on Sirius XM boxing, and he kind of confirmed some things. But I'm gonna give you a couple of interesting, maybe two sub points, but I guess make one major point. One major point is that Regis Prograis did not win any of the rounds on all three cards. That's kind of interesting over a championship fight. You know, a fighter as good as Regis Prograis, it's very interesting that he wouldn't sweep the round, sweep any of the rounds on all three of the judges' cards. Conversely, Josh Taylor won 4 rounds where he won all three. He was the winner on all 3 cards. Now you gotta keep that in mind. Like I said, the second sub point would be with Prograis not winning all 3 cards in any other rounds. He definitely won the 12th round. But one of the judges scored it in favor of Taylor. Now, it wasn't even the judge that had the wide score, the Italian judge, that had it 117-112. The guy that had the fight 115-113, he had Taylor winning the 3rd round. So, watching the fight real time, man, I felt like Taylor won the fight. But I mentioned this before, seeing a fight in person from Media Row is one look. Being in either one of those 3 judges' seats could be another look based on where the referee tends to be. You might be on the side where the referee blocks some of the action, or it's just for some reason the referee is repeatedly in your face. It's been like that when I've gone to some of the club shows and I was trying to work on my, photography game, and the referee was always in my damn way. So, in a close fight like this, that's an interesting detail, because I saw one media person, writer, something, kind of left it open-ended for what's next for Regis Prograis. Like he could just be done. And I'm like, how are you done from that? From a fight like that. So I don't know if I necessarily like Regis Prograis up at welterweight. If he has to do it at some point, then we'll see what happens. I do think he should be in line for a rematch. Maybe not immediately. At first, I didn't think, that he could do much differently in a rematch to convincingly get the win, even if they had it on neutral territory over here in the States. But then I heard him on the interview, he said some things that I'm a little more optimistic now. Although I kind of would rather. He said he'd go back over there for a shitload of money, quote unquote. He said he'd go back over there if the money was right and do the rematch. But that's not his first desire, obviously. But he said that it was all on him. He said that losing the fight was all on him. And he said in the middle round, he said he stayed in the pocket a little bit too much, and when Taylor decided to come to him, it was more in his nature to bang and to brawl. And he said, he admitted that and I said it in my breakdown, his energy level, his activity, his confidence, his assertiveness, all of that stuff kind of waned in those in some of those middle rounds. And you could see in the 10th, 11th, and 12th, especially in the 11th and 12th, when he knew he really had to get after it. He said his team told him in the 8th, after the 8th round, that he was losing. He said his team told him that he was losing those rounds. He wasn't doing horribly, but they told him, you're not doing enough to convincingly win these rounds over here with us being on the road. But, but going back to that point, though, the guy 115, the judge that had it 115, 113, he gives Taylor that 12th round. Otherwise, we have a draw. We have a majority draw. And he retains his title. So, what do you do with that? But I like it. I like Regis, man. To keep it funky with you, man. I really like Regis as a dude. I had a chance. I mentioned it in an earlier video. I actually had a chance to interview him just one-on-one when I was at Barclays. I never even posted the video. The audio's not even bad, but it just wasn't what I wanted it to be, and I didn't know how to fix it at the time, and it got older. It got to be old material, and I just never even posted it. But I like his energy, man. A lot of dudes from Louisiana, New Orleans. It's not really. And I know we have certain expectations for our fighters that they trash talk a certain way. They have to be a certain way. They have to be there. They have to be outspoken. They have to, speak on certain issues and whatnot. And that's kind of how they, ingratiate themselves with, their followings and whatnot. And Regis, man, he just seemed like a down-to-earth dude to me, man. He's down in Brazil doing jiu-jitsu. He's out traveling or out on the West Coast. I think Peter Berg, the director, is his manager, I believe, or co-manager or something. Mark Wahlberg, one of them two dudes. And Wahlberg and Peter Berg are real tight. But yeah, man, he was just like, hey, man, it's on me. He said he doesn't feel like he lost the fight, and he said, but. It could be a couple of things that he could correct and, change the outcome of that fight. And if he's cognizant of that, I think that's a good sign. And like I said on my breakdown, when you saw in the 3rd and 4th rounds, when you saw that he could land flush shots and not really hurt Taylor badly, you had to start wondering, well, what is he going to do? How is he going to fill out the rest of these 7, 8 rounds, 6, 7, and 8 more rounds? How is he going to, what adjustments is he going to make to clearly win the rounds? And he didn't make those big adjustments. He didn't make many big adjustments once Taylor made his adjustments. So that was kind of the story of the fight to me. But like I said, he's cognizant of that. Were he to have a different, where they had to have a rematch, it'd be interesting to see what he changed and, how he adapts, to pull that out. But I do think, with it being legitimately, with it being 114 fight, with it being a 114 to 114 fight, it's still a possibility he could win that fight, man. And, Josh Taylor, he said that Taylor was a little tougher than what he thought. He said he was a little better than what he thought. And, like I said, I hope they get to do it again. I get ready. What time I got on this? Yeah, get ready to get. But what does he do in the meantime? I don't know if it even comes back up now. Because we're a ways off. I think it was I want to say it was August maybe when things flashed a little bit between him and Adrian Broner. But I'm interested in that fight now. You know, with him not knocking Taylor out, you know, if Adrian could get it together and make 140, man, I just feel like even just business wise, business of boxing wise, if that fight could be worked out with, you know, with Regis kind of being somewhat of a network free agent, I believe he is with DeBella Entertainment. But you know, not DeBella not having any network affiliation, although he is working more so right now with DAZN. But excuse me, even if they could put that to fight together, just them doing that business would be encouraging for me. And then I think it's an interesting fight. You know, seeing Broner, who I believe is 29, he might be 30. And then with Regis being, I think 28 or 30, whatever, maybe he's 30. Taylor might have been 28. I think he's 30. So with them guys being the same age, there being some animosity there. Like I said, and what it would signal or signify for business, I'm interested in that fight. And it'd be good to see, you know, in my opinion, it would be refreshing, man, to see, you know, Adrian Broner against somebody kind of out of the PBC universe. Although, you know, Pacquiao was freshly into that, you know, into that world. But yeah, man, I just think that would be an entertaining fight, and it would be entertaining to see what Prograis would bring out of Adrian Broner. So that's kind of it, man. Like I said, it's very interesting that Prograis didn't win all 3 cards on any of the 12 rounds. The judge who had it 115 to 113 gave the 12th round to Taylor. Otherwise, we got a majority draw, I believe. We got a draw, either way it is. That should be majority draw. And then, you know, Regis is aware of where he faltered, where he fell a little short. I think those things are correctable. And that's pretty much it. Let me try to stretch it out. So again, Bite Down Boxing presented by the Pay Me No Mind Sports and Entertainment Channel. You don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great. Peace.